What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, I want to give you an update on Rndr because I gave you a price update, technical analysis update yesterday, and I want to follow that up with some news updates that we've seen quite recently regarding whales and one major company that I'm sure you see in the title, maybe, or I might clickbait you a little, because of course what we are seeing has been it's nothing short of fantastic, and it's showing just how promising Rndr's future is, and I think it's something that's worth noting. And so, of course, with that in mind, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. So, going over the news today, we can see here that Rndr soars 50% in 1 week as whales start accumulating and as Apple jumps in. Crazy. What you can see here, first and foremost, is that we started to see some insane whale activity. What you can see here is that it says this uptick is primarily due to increased whale interest, which appears to be accumulating, moving Rndr from exchanges, of course, to their personal wallets. Now, going forward a little bit, we can see here that look on chain data on May 8th shows that Rndr's leg up follows massive token withdrawals from Binance, one of the leading crypto exchanges. The analytics provider notes that one address, the OX15CF address, withdrew 748,898 Rndr tokens, which was worth approximately $5.3 million from Binance between April 30th and, of course, where we are now about a week and a half later. Now, of note, look on chain analysts note that this is an address that boasts of a remarkable track record with Rndr. It says this whale has profited on Rndr in 6 out of 7 trades, raking over $3.5 million in profits. And on top of this, other withdrawals include 364,000 worth over 3.6 million by this wallet, who had previously made $480,000 on Rndr, and additionally another transfer of 181,000 Rndr worth over 1.8 million from this wallet from Binance. So you may ask, and let me kind of clarify this real quick, because you say, okay, well, they're just withdrawing it from Binance. Let me explain. So generally speaking, if you want to sell a crypto, you're not going to try to sell it out of your personal wallet, obviously, right? That'll just be a little weird to try to do, especially if it's like a MetaMask. Don't do that, by the way. If you're going to try to sell a crypto, especially millions of dollars of it, you need enough liquidity to do it, and generally you can only do that on a major platform like Binance. So generally speaking, if a whale or a crypto company or investor, whoever it may be, is withdrawing their crypto from an exchange like Binance, it means they have no intentions to sell, generally meaning that they either just bought it or that they want to actually long-term hold it now and move it off of Binance for safety measures, right? And so because of that, that is generally incredibly bullish, and it just goes to show that they have that faith in Rndr. Now, in my opinion, this news alone, without the Apple stuff that we're going to talk about in itself, is extremely important, right? I've always said the money is made in crypto where the whales are going. They are lizard people and they control the markets. Now, I'm joking. Don't come find me, lizard people. I'm joking. But at the end of the day, if you can simply just follow where are the millions of dollars going at a time? Where did that 10 million just go? Where did that 20 million just go? Where did that 3 million just go? This market is controllable. This market is manipulatable, in my opinion. People may disagree. I don't care. I genuinely believe that it is. And because of that, these people who have millions of dollars, the great part is it's the blockchain. You can see what's happening. There's no hiding what's happening like with the stock market. And because of that, it gives us an advantage and an opportunity to really get a good gauge of where we should be putting our funds. And the fact that we've been buying Rndr recently is go check out the last video. The fact that we were picking up at some of those lows that we were talking about, it makes me even further confident in those purchases, because it just goes to show that likelihood is here. The long term is looking bullish because the people who are large and in charge are likely going to help push it in the right direction. Now, speaking of large and in charge, we also got some banger news. Apple integration boosts demand. What we can see here is that Rndr prices also rose following news that Apple would feature Rndr network in its Octane X software. Octane X is a GPU render for macOS users. In a keynote, Apple said this software will empower artists with high rendering capability. So it's not the craziest news ever, but it's a fantastic step in the right direction, especially for mass adoption for Rndr. What we can see is that most importantly for Rndr holders, Apple content creators will leverage Rndr's decentralized computing power whenever they need to process complex scenes and high definition animations. By tapping into Rndr, artists will benefit from faster rendering times and lower costs typically incurred when producing high quality videos for 3D modeling. What the hell? On Apple's side, integrating Rndr and easing activity on its iCloud services help reduce the server workload, boosting efficiency, of course, which is extremely important for a company of this nature. You know that. Additionally, analysts said developers might gain access to Rndr via Apple's developer tools. Subsequently, they can create more demanding models or files without expensive hardware. Now, that is huge news, right? Because it's maybe not necessarily in terms of volume, right? Are we going to have a huge shit ton of volume from this? Probably not. But what you have to understand that this is a credibility boost. This is a credibility boost in the sense that Rndr can now go and say, we are used by Apple, one of the biggest companies in the world, some of the real lizard people of the world, one of the biggest companies in the world, right? And you just have to think about how far that can take them in terms of partnerships and mass adoption, and using that to leverage other partnerships and using it to scale into other forms of the world and other areas, aspects, elements of life. And that's what helps fuel mass adoption, right? Leveraging a name like Apple is what's going to be much more important than the actual use of the partnership and the use of the thing in which these different artists are going to be doing. And so because of that, I mean, it's just going to show that Rndr is an obvious choice. It's an obvious choice for one of those ones that should do incredibly well during the bull market, and they already are. I think where we are now is still a steal. I think that this thing can easily be $25, $30, $40, $50 one day. There's no reason why it can't 2.5, 3, 4, 5x from here. And so because of that, I think it's an obvious choice. Very happy with the fact that we were doing our purchases sub $10, closer to 6.543, not 6.54321. Jeez, about $6 and $5 roughly. And so because of that, of course, I will continue to update you as it does play out. I know it was a little bit late to the Rndr party because I was busy, but I am glad that I am here at least, because it's never too late, especially considering we're up 70% from those purchases that we were getting in. So of course, shout out to you guys. Of course, if you guys are Rndr investors, please do let me know down in the comments below if it is one that's interesting to you and if it is one that you've invested in, of course. And so with that in mind, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.